We are going live, madam.
Okay.
This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome to Dr. TSPR show. Name me Dr. Tangella Shivaprasad Reddy alias Dr. TSPR. Namaste, Adab, hello. This is an interesting day with an interesting topic. We have been going around with Corona, which has been destructive. So many things have been happening in regards to Corona in the world. No matter, it is again the health and innocent people, citizens of every country put to sword by none other than World Health Organization's handling of the entire issue. And you have seen how many have been dying, developed country or developing or undeveloped, no matter what it is. This virus was allowed to spread and it has become pandemic, and it is no different that India, there is a big spike, every city after city, state after state, falling a prey to that, throwing innocent lives, innocent people to risk with their health. In such a scenario, we have been bringing out the discrepancies of Telangana government vis-a-vis the entire governments, how inept handling they were, as if this is not enough. The world has been witness some horrific incidents, whether it is related to women, modesty of women, or business, or political maneuvers, or for that matter, gruesome murders which you might have not even heard of for gains. The gains may be eternal, either for money in case of New York, or the reasons are yet to be ascertained in the case of the death, unfortunate death of the young budding Bollywood star is none other than Shashank Rajput. The dates are also, I mean, closely varying. July, June, he dies. The entire June month becomes ostentatious in losing a budding star. 14th June, something like that, when it became viral and it was trending. And when even Corona was doing headlines, unfortunately, we saw the unfortunate death of a young budding star. And what has happened till now, we are not aware how many have been arrested, whether the criminal justice system is coming to the rescue of that family who has lost the near and dear one, and the innumerable supporting fans of Mr. Sushant Rajput, who are also silently brooding, mourning, and fighting for the justice. You know Bollywood? The name of Bollywood. Bollywood really takes you to all those crime thriller movies. Mafia, because easy money. They circulate the black money, invest it in films, and they take it out. Not only that, it's a glamorous world wherein they get everything. So they are trying to destroy the ethical core of the medium called cinema. Now, the same audiovisual impact, Dr. TSPR show, we are reaching out to the entire world with a simple technology. The same effect even the medium called cinema has celluloid on the minds of people. In such a scenario, some vested interest culprit minds have been destroying the ethical sense of cinema making, and in doing so, they were trying to circulate ill-gotten money, money which is earned through dubious methods. Of course, without political nexus, of course, without administrators nexus, these things would never happen. And at times, media, you know how it has been sidelined with either political attachments or the industrialists attached to such political thinking mindsets. depriving media of its independence, coming to the rescue of people and reporting what it is. We are very clear, Dr. TSPR show falls in the core ethics of journalism, and we love to present what is real. And if there is anything which is really not happening, we try to bring it to the notice of the government and authorities concerned. And in doing so, even if that doesn't make sense, then we go live like this to make people to understand, because in democracy, people matter. That is how a democracy should run. Any government should be welfare, and this welfare should be people centric. In that, the rights, predominance of rights, right to life, right to liberty, right to food, right to housing, everything falls in, and right to freedom, everything. So all those rights are very much etched in any one's life. Once you take a birth on this Mother Earth, such a wonderful place to live in, you accrue all these fundamental rights to live as you want. At the same time, you have so many aspects wherein the government has come to the rescue of you as a citizen of that country. So that unfortunate incident, we will discuss on that. What happened to humanism? And I'm happy there are many people who have been supporting for the transparency in criminal justice justice system in Mumbai, as to how a young budding actor has committed suicide, as is still officially it looms around, but we have very clearly shown in our this thing also. Let me also again show, but before that, let me introduce my esteemed guest today for this show. She is none other than Tanurima Sen Gupta from New York, and she is a non-resident Indian. She is a New Yorker and an Indian. So there is a connection between these two for this today's topic, and she is a humanist to the core. I really appreciate her gut feeling that what is happening. Why these? Let me again remind everyone, why these? Are we not human beings, bloody? What is this nonsense? Before I make her speak, another incident which I have to relate is again on 14th July. That was on 14th June. 14th July, New York City. Both are trending cosmopolitan cities in the world. Whether it is Mumbai, wherein SUSHANT is no more from that Mumbai city, and we have another gentleman, a 33-year-old Fahim Saleh, CEO of Gokada. The way he has been killed, my God, I cannot even think of it, because as a New Yorker, maybe I would love to hear from her how the torso, other body parts have been separated in a gruesome, brutal murder by his own employee for some thousands of dollars which he has stolen, and because of which, when he was found guilty, the CEO demanded that that whatever amount was stolen be returned, that too in installments. See this guy's Fahim Saleh's mentality, even in that condition, thousands of dollars during Corona crisis, and again he is representing a company called Gokada. Money generation is very difficult. In spite of that, his liberal sense of humanism, asking his co-employee to refund it in installments, shows his gesture. Maybe because he's human, this human fellow did not like it. And in 3 days, this fellow, the name and all, he has been caught. I think he is just languishing in the jail. The criminal justice system taking its own turn there in New York, United States of America. But a month earlier, Sushant, who had lost his life in dubious circumstances, this man is also 34-year-old, and the one New Yorker is also 33-year-old. Both of them in their mid 30s, losing their precious lives. And still in India, Mumbai, the criminal justice system is taking its own pace, and they say suicide. So for that reason, let me push this picture across, because I'm not going to run any videos because it's already there in the public domain, and I just wanted to present these uh, in a proper way. So, oh, evidence part. Okay. It is clearly written that the evidence what he is carrying and how he died, what was his height, and what was the height from which he committed suicide, whether the documentary circumstantial evidences point to a suicide or homicide. The police, the criminal justice system in Mumbai has to answer that. So both murders of youngsters who are dreaming big, and unfortunately they are no more. Their families brooding. Our heartfelt sympathies go to those two families. Ms. Tanurima, how do you look at this as a New Yorker and as an Indian?
Thank you, Dr. Reddy, for giving me this opportunity. Yes, it's been extremely disheartening. I was thinking to, share my views with the world, as many people are doing, people that feel hurt to the core, that we have, first of all, we shouldn't even be talking about such topics where that deals with murders. I mean, we know eventually everybody gets to die once we have taken birth, but purposely killing a human life on earth, I mean, for somebody that has not even committed a crime, I mean, it's abominable. It's inhuman crime. So the incident for Sushant Singh Rajput has definitely taken us by storm in India. And at the same time, soon after a month of Sushant's incident happened, we have found another heinous crime right in New York City. A 33-year-old man was brutally decapitated with an electric saw. So that raises questions in our mind, I believe. I mean, you would agree with it. Like, what kind of human beings are we dealing with that actually do not bat an eyelid to kill another human being? I mean, probably it takes a lot for us to kill an insect. And here, blatantly, one human being is going ahead and killing another and coming out with a broad smile in the daylight. So, I mean, we are all unnerved. We are all shaken. And when I say we, cognitive life, a kind of movement, a kind where public is shaken in India to this extent that they are fighting for a person they did not even know in person. They're fighting for a person they have never met. It's akin to a stranger. And they are not fighting for a film star. They are fighting for a human being that supposedly should have had the right to live on earth, but he was not given that right. Who are we humans to decide who gets to live or not, regardless of our actions? If he would have committed a heinous crime, yes, it would have been taken to the court of justice. But he has not done anything. He was killed, he was murdered by some sabotage that is so blatantly clear. But criminal justice system and political system in India is highly questionable, as we are all getting to see it. I mean, people are getting frustrated. It's been close to 1.5 months. It's 28th of July now, and this incident with Sushant happened on 14th of June. We have barely made any progress except for very prominent people that have come up in the front due to people movement and started making themselves the voice of the nation, like Mr. Ishkaran Singh Bhandari, Dr. Subramanian Swamy. I mean, amazing people that have actually felt the emotions within themselves that people are undergoing right now. And they are doing as much as they can. But there are so much interruption from Bollywood, from Maharashtra government, from the Office of Chief Maharashtra. I mean, they are making it so evident that they want to hide this matter by calling it a suicide case and close this matter. There is no guarantee that in future another similar incident would happen and we would lose another gem in our country. Sushant was a gem. He was not only contributing to Bollywood, he was contributing to so many other humanitarian causes, for right from supporting, women entrepreneurship to thinking of kids, educating them, sending them to NASA. I mean, can we think of any other Bollywood actor that did similar kind of thing? They do come in the forefront when they have to release their movies. They act for charity. We have many people that we know of, right? Like big superstars. Like I don't even need to name them. I mean, we know right in the name of being human what kind of inhuman acts they continue. There has to be some kind of end to it. We cannot keep continuing holding discussions on murders. We better utilize our time holding discussions on how to improve the quality of our existing life. I mean, it seems we are going back in humanity. We are going back in time and define the roots that the universe or God didn't send us for, the right to live. And if we are alive, we definitely should spend time on discussing and innovating the quality of life, a better quality of life, and not discussing how can we stop murders, how can we stop other criminal activities like money laundering, mafia and gangism, any kind of rape happening across the world, and waste our time like this. So I believe, Dr. Reddy, in this entire conundrum of what is happening around us, there is something fundamentally wrong. I mean, either in how we are raising children, how the social system is evolving, in the direction that is not supposed to be, and how we are not really focusing on developing the morals and ethics and integrity while raising a human being. We are probably more concerned about the amount or the quality of degree that person is earning in order to get ahead in life. I mean, we have seen top-notch criminals are pretty much educated. They hold degrees. We have seen Osama bin Laden being an engineer himself. So getting and acquiring degrees really is not synonymous to the kind of human beings we are raising on earth. And everything starts with, fundamentals. So as a society, as citizens of this earth, I mean, there are multiple divisions. We are divided with countries, religion, beliefs, faith. I think somewhere we have to come back as one and think that we are doing wrong somewhere, that people are not batting an eyelid to kill another human being. Everybody has a right to disagree. But we cannot disagree and take certain action in our hands and kill another human being. We discuss, we raise issues. I mean, I might not like somebody, but I'm afraid of law. So I will not go and kill somebody. But these criminals that are continuing taking lives, they are not afraid of law because they know law is afraid of them. So they have bought law in an extent that they have the power, they have the flexibility to go about doing anything that they want. And I believe investigation is still on. I mean, there are a couple of gentlemen that are doing investigation on how many gangs are there existing in Bollywood. If I am to focus and talk about Sushant's case, I mean, it seems that there are multiple Bollywood gangs that do gangism, that do mafia giri, and that know themselves as the god of Bollywood industry. And there is no set of governing body within Bollywood. So everybody is doing their own work based on their vested interest. And since the political nexus is so intrinsically blended with Bollywood, I mean, they know that even if a crime is committed by Bollywood, the crime leader is not afraid of it because they know the person that is responsible for meting out justice to us is in his pocket. So he would not think about committing the crime twice. I mean, we don't want this world to continue with such kind of event. I mean, 2020 is and was quite an alarming year in itself. I mean, I think if we get the message from the universe, we get it. We've been doing it a lot. I mean, the universe is telling us it's time for you to calm down. It's time for you to sit, pause, and look at the human inside of you than looking outside. But it seems nothing would be enough for us human to say that it's enough. Let's start practicing being good human being. And by practicing being good human being does not mean that I open up a shop by the name of being human to cover up my criminal activities that goes on in the back. By being human truly means you try to be the good person in action, not just words. And there shouldn't be any hypocrisy or diplomacy. But that's not what we see in this world today. I mean, right from Bollywood, I can say everywhere. I live in New Jersey, the greater New York area. I would say, to some extent, nepotism, gangism happens in everywhere, right from our neighborhood to our cities, to towns, to our countries, to across the world. So, and that's where it starts. I mean, we are so good at dividing, at like eliminating people and making a gang that think alike and not let others come in, endure. I mean, these kind of thought process need to be worked at. And I'm a mother of two young children. I believe that this is not the kind of world I would want my children to grow, where they are continuously confused between what is right and wrong. We give them a set of values, principles that eventually I doubt if they would get to see and experience in action when they go out to the world. They would see hypocrisy, they would say gangism, they would say clickiness. Clickiness is something where, like people form their own group and do not allow the other person to walk in and make the other person feel lonely. I mean, this will never stop unless we pause and unless we stop thinking what's in it for us. I mean, every interaction, every action of ours need not come with some kind of benefit. It can also have some kind of benefit in kind. That is our own satisfaction that we did something good. Eventually, I mean, no matter these criminals, how powerful they are, how much of a government system they think they have bought in their pocket.
Here I'll remind you of one of your famous idioms. We failed to identify an elephant in the room. This fear
Absolutely,
stalking,
nobody
this
wants to
fear
talk.
stalking, this fear stalking. Don't you think these Bollywood stars, those who act, don't you think that before I come to New York issue, Bollywood, such a good young budding star, you have revealed the other side of Sushant, which I think many were not aware, to be honest with you. Thankful to you, you're just trying to bring out a humane interface. When such an actor and such a human being, when he is being done to death, or even the death is not sure, suspicious death, why is that people, the Bollywood stars, the actors, actresses, or right from cameramen, it's a big industry, it's a huge industry, because they are not speaking. You think your idiom, having an elephant in the room, we fail to acknowledge it. Is it so?
They will not speak, Dr. Reddy. They will not speak because it is very difficult I mean, I understand it's like, like having to live in the ocean, you cannot really fight with the crocodile or the whale.
Yeah.
I understand that. They will not speak because they don't want to get in the bad books of those leaders that are actually gangsters of these kind of criminal activities going on within Bollywood. But okay, they are dealing with a lot of unaccounted for money. But are we supposed to kill a human being? Okay, I mean, we understand. Probably my struggle. I didn't give my kids breakfast. Today I thought of spending this time with you in case it reaches people and, like something divine inside of people gets shaken up so that people start thinking this is not the world we live in, we should live in. And we should always think beyond ourselves, always. I mean, of course, it is our prerogative to think of ourselves and our family first. But I think today we are dealing with a kind of society where everybody is just thinking about their own self. Myself, my kids, my husband, my parents, my job. I mean, as human beings, we have certain commitment, responsibilities to think beyond the myness. I mean, I am here just to talk to you. I do not have any intention of
No, no,
making
no.
money through
See,
YouTube or
we are
getting
at least. I'm
nothing. I
I'm
have a lot
happy.
to deal with my own
I,
life.
I'm
I don't even
happy.
share my own problems because I know I have to deal with my
No,
problems.
Manorima.
But what about the problems? What about the problems that our society is crippled with, which
No,
eventually our
Manorima.
children going to face?
Manorima. I'm
Panorama,
happy.
panorama.
I'm happy that you never said Thai myself. Thai myself. We are not saying Thai ourselves. We are all together because his soul, such a wonderful human being. When you are revealing how successful you would have been with those couple of advertisements, maybe that is the reason, or something else. And this movie, Dil Bechara, I think it was released after his death. Dil Bechara.
I could not watch that movie. I knew that I would not be able to
Now that's
watch
what
it
Dil
without
Bechara.
tears.
This Dil Bechara changed number of SIM cards before its death. We have come to know this police